One day, King Saul was very angry. He had been watching young David closely since David had killed the giant Goliath. Saul was very jealous of David and also afraid of him at the same time. But David played Saul music to try to calm him down. In a fit of rage, Saul jumped up and threw his spear at David, trying to pin him to the wall and kill him. But David ran away, and this started a cat-and-mouse game with Saul trying to catch him and kill him. David went to stay with Samuel. He was the prophet for Israel in those days, and he was the one that anointed David to be the future king of Israel at some point. Saul heard that David was with Samuel and went to try to find him, but David escaped. On his way out of town, David stopped to pick up Goliath's sword because he knew he would need a weapon to protect himself. David even went to the city where Goliath was from. He was afraid that the people there would harm him, so he pretended to be insane. He scratched on the doors of the gate and let drool run out of his mouth. The king of Goliath's city, Achish, said, "Look at this madman. He is crazy. We shouldn't be afraid of him. Why is he even here? We have enough crazy people running around already." So David left and went to hide in a cave, and he was very lonely. Hey Clayton kids, so our story left off in 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 1. It says, David left Gath and escaped to the cave of Adullam. When his brothers and his father's household heard about it, they went down to him there. All those who were in distress or in debt or discontented gathered around him, and he became their commander. About 400 men were with him. So when David escaped to the cave, this is one of the lowest points of his life. He was really sad. Jesus experienced a similar feeling of being really sad. You can read about that in Matthew chapter 28, verse 38. This is when Jesus was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane on the night before he would die. He said, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." Going a little further, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." So even though David and Jesus both experience really sad, low points in their life, the story doesn't end sadly. David will not stay in the cave forever. Eventually, he will come out of the cave and he will become the king of Israel. And even though Jesus, when he was really sad, he knew that he was going to be handed over to die for the forgiveness of our sins the following day. He didn't stay dead. He didn't stay in the tomb. He rose again on the third day for the forgiveness of our sins. That's one of the great things about every story in the Bible that you read about. There's a connection to something that Jesus did. The gospel is on every page of the Bible. I'm Mr. Jamey, and this has been another edition of Clayton Kids.